This week on Rockstar Superhero. Sinnery is a fantastic band, and my interview with Alon Karnieli was all the things I'd hoped it'd be. What's really crazy is Alon is halfway around the world, and we actually have mutual friends, as in real friends, not internet friends. So how does that happen? Sinnery's new record, Black Bile, comes out in September, and everyone I know is thrilled to hear the entire work. Hopefully today's show, along with the opening song you're hearing right now under this intro, will turn you on like crazy. Get on the presale list now because it's a killer. Alon shares some great insight into life in Israel and the meaning behind each song on the record, so now's the time to learn about this great band, if you didn't already know who they were. A giant in the making, this is my interview with Alon Karnieli of Israel's Sinnery. And this, as always, is Rockstar Superhero. Now the fight we have to fight, completely human rights! It's really all about the formation of the artist. Yeah, we talk about the band and we talk about the new record, but I'm really, really fascinated with who you are. And not to the detriment of the other guys in the band, but, you're the guy I'm chatting with today. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go back at least for the first, say, 5-6 minutes and talk a little bit about your early years. Is that cool?
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Cool. Well, I know what it's like because I'm a former professional musician myself, and I think being a young musician can be an amazing thing, but it can be really hard depending on the environment. And, we're trying to develop our craft, and we're in love with the idea of songs and noise and the feeling that we get, when we hear a sound come out of that amplifier, But a lot of times young artists, use music as a way to get away from something in their life. And even though, as an example, I grew up in a very, what I would call an even-keeled home, I use music as a way to, get away from the frustrations of dealing with my brother and the stuff that happened at school. And I'm wondering, was it the same way for you? Was music filling a hole in your life?
Well, wow. All right, we're gonna get dark real
We're going
quick.
Right at it, brother.
When I was 16, my father passed away. 3 months later, I formed Sinnery. I always wanted to be a musician, but that was like the trigger. I needed something to do to get my mind off things, and I didn't know what to do. So we had, me and Idan, the guitar player, we had a band like before it really like broke up. We were kids. We were 15 or 16, and we didn't know how to do it,
Yeah.
And then that was the trigger for me, like coming to Ida and saying, "Dude, let's try one more time. Let's do it. I don't know what we're gonna do. Let's just play music and go at it, and let's see where it takes us." And here we are, 10 years later.
Wow. Yeah, you're so young. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. It's funny because, when you get older, so I'm 55. I'm going to be 56 here in a few weeks. And so that makes me as old. I mean, I'm literally old enough to be your dad. You know what I mean? And the funny thing is as you get older, that time compresses and you start realizing that, you could be friends with these much younger people, where when you're young, the idea of being friends with a 56-year-old guy is creepy, right? But so 16 years old, huh? That had to be awful. I mean, without getting too dark,
I once said that it was the worst thing that I ever experienced, but out of it grew. Out of the ashes of that thing happening grew the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. Yeah. And that's the whole message of Sinnery. You use the worst thing that happened to you, or that you've been through, or the worst things that you feel, and you use that power because you can't ignore it. Yeah, bad energy won't turn into good energy, but you need to use it to, to elevate yourself, to do something with yourself, something new, create
Yeah.
something new.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I imagine you have a giant future in front of you because, yeah, the people with the most awful circumstances that start their lives or that start their careers tend to be the ones that have the most to overcome, and they go farther. They go farther because they don't want that feeling anymore. They want to get past it, and so they just vault past it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm really in for the motivation stories. Seeing the guy, the montages, and the guys that grew up, having nothing and grew to fame and did something with themselves. And I'm always asking myself, is that me? Do I qualify to be that guy? And I don't know, because it's really subjective.
Yeah.
So another guy could have been through what I've been through and come out with a different outcome. I don't know. It's not like written in stone. I just believe that 6 months after we formed Sinnery, we had a couple of shows, and suddenly a guy came to our show to listen to us. He came and he wanted to hear Sinnery, and that was like a change of a changing of life moment, because
Right.
that was the first time I see something that I built and the fruit. It's the first time that I saw something that I've made come to life.
Yeah. I was listening to an interview with Taylor Tomlinson. I don't know if you know who she is. She's a comedian in America, and she was talking about this very thing, that she had lost her mother, I think when she was 11 or 12, something like that. And Conan O'Brien was interviewing her, and he had asked the same question, which is, do you think you would have been, where you are today? And she said no. She said, my mother being alive would have probably pushed me into being a teacher, right? She would have just been just a quote unquote a regular person instead of a crazy musician.
That's amazing. I've had this conversation with my mother yesterday. We went to lunch, and she asked me, "Do you think if your dad was alive, would you be here?" And I said no, because I always wanted to be a musician, but he'd probably push me, towards a career or towards studying at a university or something. And I knew that I would never do music, just as a hobby. I couldn't. I'm attracted to it. I'm drawn to it. I have to do music. That's like my curse and my blessing. That's what I do. And my father passing away. That's what triggered me to go for it. He wanted me to be happy, so I'm doing that.
Yeah. I know so many people, of course, who've lost parents at a young age, and then they jump into a career of some sort, and they always do the thing where they have a moment of success and they point to the sky and they're like, "That's for you, Dad," as though their dad were watching. And I know that's not happening. And I'm not trying to be mean in your situation, but for my dad passed away too, and I'm not thinking about. I don't think my dad is floating around the room like giving me applause for doing a good job. But I do find that I work harder because I want to honor his memory, right?
Yeah. Someone once told me when I was young. He told me, if you talk about him and you keep him alive.
Yeah.
If he's in the conversation, then he's alive. His name is still holds a place in the present. And I believe that when I do Sinnery and when I perform and when I break these glass ceilings that are always on top of us,
right.
That's when I'm making him proud, because I'm doing something, and I'm doing it with my heart, and I'm doing it with all the meaning in the world.
Yeah, you can tell you mean it. I mean, that's one thing. So I guess I would say that, Alon, that the music speaks the music speaks for you so well because it's clear that there's intention in it. You don't sound like a guy trying to be cool or trying to be aggressive or trying to be punky or trying to be thrashy, right? Or trying to be anything. You sound like you're speaking truth.
I don't care about what we sound like. We can do a jazz album tomorrow. I'll be okay with it. If that's what we want to do,
That's awesome.
that's what we'll do.
I'd love it.
The only thing that matters is that we're having fun and that we put our hearts into it. Yeah. That's the only thing that matters. We can do whatever tomorrow, whatever the future may bring. It doesn't matter. We will perform anywhere. We will do anything. We just need to do it with meaning. That's the most important thing for me.
Nice. So have you considered trying different genres then? I mean, I know you just kind of maybe joked about it a bit, but have you considered test driving new ideas with the next, not the version of the band, but with the next album? I mean, I know this album's just come out, but it's been 4 years, for what, 6 years actually?
Yeah, 6 years since the last album, and I can already tell you that we're working on the release after Black Bile because we can't stop. We've done this. And it took 6 years to really get who we are and what we want to do, and really sharpen it. And when we did Black Bile and we recorded it, and then COVID hit, and when we were like, all right, we need to start thinking about the future. What are we gonna do? We can't wait 6 more years. Yeah. So we started working on the third album. And in the third album, on one of the songs that we sketched. It doesn't necessarily mean it will be in the album because it's a long way, but it actually ends in a hip hop beat.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. We wanted to explore. We like hip hop. We like rap. Why not put it in our music?
Sure.
We were always influenced by it, so why not giving it a more audible example of it? Not just because we were influenced by the lyrics mostly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Sinnery means so much, right? I mean, the name itself gives you, or maybe a better way to put it is it allows you to touch on any topic because, and I'm not even talking about the religious implications, but that word creates so much imagery in a listener. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you
sure,
can,
I agree.
You can really go down some crazy roads with it.
I think that the Sinnery is and will always should be a platform for us to express ourselves whatever we want to say. That's when we first entered the studio in Black Bile, and we sat down with our producer Alon Karnieli, and he told us, all right, what I want to do is I want to give you a moment, 5 minutes on TV, and all the world's watching it. What are you going to say? What do you have to say? You have to be you have to be precise. You have to be super meaningful. It should be something heavy, something from the heart, whatever it may be. And that really put me in perspective, what I want to say. I don't know, but I want to say everything that is meaningful for me, everything that is important, everything that goes through my mind, and I want to express it out.
Yeah,
that's why we write so much content, and then only some of it come to the album, because only the best should be there.
Yeah. It's interesting too that I it's not that I didn't expect you to be well spoken or really, really interesting, but I talked to so many musicians that, of course, as you know, musicians and artists overall tend to be a bit crazy. There's a certain weird creative gene that's downloaded into us, at birth, and we tend to be a little outside the box. It's hard for people to relate to us, and yet I listen to you and you sound so well put together. So it seems to me as though the music is doing exactly what you hoped, which is catharsis and allowing you to continue as a human.
I was driving back home from work earlier, and I was in my car, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have an interview, or I don't know how long, and in English. Right. What am I going to say? I just hope I don't get stuck, thinking of a word and don't remember how to express it. So it's cool, hearing that I'm doing it okay. Yeah. I think that I can think of those things because we've talked about it so much. Right. What is our message? For now, I don't know for how long it will be, that message, but what do we bring to the world? And And we've talked about it for so much. We really dug into it, trying to figure out what do we mean in the world. That's an interesting question to ask a metal band.
Yeah.
Like, what is your message? Because we don't want to talk about pizzas and zombies. It's cool, but that's not what we're here for. We want to talk about living, about the human experience, and about how to, come get over like the worst things that happen to us, because we've all been through like tough stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone has.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the beauty of metal, and probably why I'm more drawn to it than ever, and honestly why I'm more drawn to extreme metal these days, is it seems to me, and I could be wrong, it seems that it's the only pure musical expression anymore. And not to say that mellow, soft, adult, contemporary music, love songs can't be pure, but what I love about metal is it tends to go right at the throat, and it's talking literally about the human experience versus the potential for dreams and hopes. It's not that it's depressing or that it's a negative experience. It's a realistic experience.
I think that I've done an interview like a couple of weeks back, and they asked me, what does metal mean to you? And that's also an interesting question. Like,
yeah,
I'm so deep in it. What does it mean to me? And I think metal, as opposed to other genres that I listen to, metal is like a language, and you can talk and you can speak anything in metal. You can talk about anything. You can talk about like you have the pizza, zombies, unicorn bands, and you have the gore type bands, and you have the bands that talk about feelings, and you can get all touchy and real heavy like in a second. And that's the amazing thing about it, that you have a very wide spectrum of topics that you can express in metal.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah, I love the idea of pizza, zombies, and unicorns. I want to see an album cover. That's got to be your next album title.
Pizza, Zombies, and Unicorns, by Sinnery.
I mean, if you think about it, it's you've got Black Bile is very clearly very aggressive and very dark sounding, and Pizza, Zombies, and Unicorns is hopeful. So it's like a companion piece. It's perfect.
They won't see it coming.
So you told me about the distance and time between the debut and the new album. Obviously, you had a lot of time to prepare for it, and then you had COVID that got in the way. But what has been the overall experience for Sinnery from the beginning? Because you've gone through iterations with the band, and that's not always easy. Do you feel like you're finally at your best version?
Yeah, sure. When we released Feast of Fools, we were kids. We wrote that album when we were 16, 17, 18. We were already in the studio, and then it was released, and we had a large releasing party and show, and we were like, oh, people like it.
Right.
What now? And then we matured, and our music taste matured with us. Suddenly, I'm more into death metal, and I'm more into black metal, and all the guys have like different experiences with metal and with other genres of music, and they explore further. So we sat back down like a year after, and we started writing songs, and those songs came out weird because we were in a process.
Right.
We were maturing.
Yeah, we
were changing. We were 22 and 23, and when we really had to go over some what I consider bad songs that we didn't know where to go with, to really hit a point where we were all like, this is the way, this is the direction that we think we should go with.
Right.
And then we all doing the album, we matured even further with it. So you can hear like songs on the album that were written first, and I think you can really tell, because we're always on a journey. We're always like stepping forward. And I think that the once we like went to the studio to do Black Bile, and then COVID hit as soon as we got the masters. So we were like, we didn't know how to release it. We didn't know what's best because it was like a confusing time. But I believe that now we're, we know better. The next one won't be that long. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's interesting too that, you started so young and now you have the second album. And excuse me if I may ask exactly, how old are you exactly, like right now?
I'm 26 and a half.
Okay. So, doctors say that, your cerebral cortex isn't fully formed until you're like 25, 26 years old. So isn't it funny that we're talking about this because you're basically just now technically an adult? You know what I mean? And like, it's like all the, I guess what I'm trying to say is it'll be interesting to see what that next album does and what direction you take it, if any change, or how much maybe more refined the music will be arrangement wise as that maturation has come. I mean, I'm really fascinated by this. I can't wait, I guess, to hear it.
I can't wait to hear it too. I don't know what it will be, but I know that like the only guideline that I have is I'd rather do a bad album and hang out with my friends and do it with all my heart and have fun than do a good album and hate those guys, because our relationship can get really intense. We're really up in each other's lives, and that's the only guideline, because I don't know what it'll be, but I know it will be straight from our hearts. It will be something that we feel that is real.
Yeah. The beauty of bands, for anybody on the outside, it's really about family when you're in a band. I don't know many bands that have had success by being separate, right? I mean, it takes you and the other guys to get together and form this unit that you all believe in, and you all believe in the music, and you all believe in the direction, and you're all looking towards the destination, and that community is everything to be a successful band. You have to be able to weather every storm together, right? To get through. Do you find that the band has done a good job in replacing the hole in your heart regarding your father?
I don't know if the band filled that hole, because I always miss my father, and no one can fill that hole, because no one can fill that part. But I think the music and the goals and the overall dream that we all share, and the team we built around it, because it's more than just the four of us. There's a lot of people getting in and out and taking part in different things. Yeah. That whole sense of community around that music, that's the purpose, That's why I wake up in the morning and I have the energy to go about it, because it's not easy. We've been through a lot. We've been through, as a young band coming out of Israel, we've been through some challenges, but when you have the right surrounding and the right people with you, that they are the air to your sails, you find the energy to do it. Yeah. Because it sometimes it will be much easier to go and study something at college and start a career. It will be much easier than not knowing what will tomorrow bring. and if you go on tour, and where are you going? These things are unclear. But the uncertainty is intriguing once you're in the right place with the right people.
Yeah, that's so true. Where are you located in Israel?
We're all surrounding Tel Aviv. No one lives in Tel Aviv because it's hard to live in Tel Aviv, but we're all around it.
Okay. Well, I have friends in Haifa. The only reason I'm even asking, the guys in Subterranean Masquerade, I don't know. if you know them. But
yeah, sure. Vidi, the lead singer, is a good friend of mine.
yeah, I love Vidi. I mean, I would consider it's so funny because I've talked to him like 20 times in the last year, and we've never met in person. But I would absolutely say that he's one of my best friends in the world. I love that guy. An amazing guy.
Vidi is the kind of guy that we don't talk every day.
Yeah.
We're good friends. We love being like with each other, but we don't talk every day. But every once in a while, when we pick up the phone and call each other, we have like a 2-hour call.
Yeah.
And when we get together, we're excited. We're having fun. He was my vocal teacher. That's how I met him.
Wow.
Yeah, when I was younger, Yuval Kremer, who produced our albums, told me when I was way before the album, told me, yeah, you should check out Vidi. And I was like, who is he? And he was like, listen to the album that he made of a band called Omb.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I scheduled like a meeting with him, and I went on a train and I listened to the album, to pass the time, to really like get a picture of who I'm meeting with, because I didn't know. And that album blew my mind. and so I've met Vidi, and we became friends, and we became like we were colleagues of sort, if I dare say that I'm a colleague of his. But we talk about things about business, and we talk about music, and we talk about our inspirations, and we talk about ways to deal with our inspirations and how to really elevate it. And I think that he's doing an amazing job. Not only with Subterranean Masquerade, which are a great band, and we're doing way better than we ever did before. We're bigger, we're better, we're more, we're strategically, we're smarter, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But Vidi on his personal life is doing massive things. Massive things.
Yeah, I love that you guys know each other. It's really interesting too, of course, because you have wildly different styles. Well, obviously, I mean, we're different human beings, but it's intriguing to me that he was a vocal teacher for you, because he has such a powerful voice, and it explains your powerful voice. So so that's rad, man. I love that you guys are connected.
Yeah, man. Vidi is an angel.
Yeah, he is. Well, I mean, I know you're here to talk about two things, the new album and the new single. Let's at least address the album, Black Bile. It comes out in September, right? We still have a couple months?
Yeah, September 16th.
Okay. So I'm just glad we're able to jump on it and, have a conversation about it. But what I would love to know is the album, I've heard it, so I already kind of know the answer here, but I'm doing this for the audience. Is the album about the current state of the world and your feelings about the things that are going on, or is there something less profound about it?
I think the album is really introspective. It talks about the things that are going around with us, because like I said, it's been a long journey. We started writing it in like 2017, 18, and we're in 2022.
It's a long time.
We've been through a lot. We've matured. We've grown up. We left our homes, and we felt a lot of different things, and some of it were bad, and we really wanted to captivate and exaggerate everything that we felt, to really put the listener into a journey. Now, considering like the lyrics, you can tell the album is really pessimistic, but in my opinion, it ends in a really optimistic vibe, because you gotta grow up. Like I think one of the last words that I've said there was like, I grew too big for hell to feel, because you gotta grow out of it, and that's what keeps me motivated about Sinnery.
Yeah.
I can take everything that is bad, that is happening to me, I can take and make it into a song. I can create something with it. So every bad feeling is like some kind of like substance that I can use to make something else. Yeah. And that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny too. I know the song, well, I shouldn't say I know. I assume the song The Burning isn't about this, but what I like about the title is it's it reminds me of what the album is about. And what I'm trying to say is, if you take a song and an idea and you get it out, it's the catharsis thing. It seems like the band writes this song, performs it, and then throws away the idea so it can move on.
Yeah, sure.
I don't. Is that kind of the feeling that you're getting to from putting this out?
When we write the song and then we record it, as soon as we're done recording and it's mixed, or once it's released, it's not ours anymore. You know, it's not ours. Yeah. It's like it belongs to everyone who listened to it, and you can you can read the lyrics and have like a total different feeling about it. You won't necessarily know exactly what I meant. You might make it your own. You might like think that the meaning is something else, and that feeling will guide you, and you will be 100% sure that this is what they meant. It happened to me with so many songs that I thought I knew what the meaning was, that what it meant to me. So once we throw that idea out there, you can take it and you can use it whichever way you choose. However,
okay, so I've never been to Israel, and I make a lot of assumptions about the country based on what I see on the news and what I've been told through history, etc. And I'm not talking about, just the religious aspects of it or terrorism or the things that have happened to Israel from Palestine or any of that stuff, all the political stuff. I don't understand what it feels like to be Israeli. I'm not assuming you're Jewish, but I don't know what it feels like to be Jewish. I don't know what it feels like for a lot of those things. And all I was going to say is in regards to the burning is it seems to me that the song is like a war cry against modern religion and false teachers and false politics that are everywhere. So I'm curious, would you break down the song for me a little bit more? Because I guess I really want to know what it's about.
Sure. The title was supposed to be The Burning of Mount Sinai.
Oh, wow.
That's where the Israelites got the 10 Commandments.
Yeah,
That's where the whole thing started, like a religion, like a movement. And then for me, that was like, that's the moment we should stop that. Because we got a 10 Commandments. Now we know what to do.
Right.
Now we should apply it to our lives. We don't need to do anything more. We don't need to worship nobody. And I think modern religion, all those books like the Quran or the New Testament or the Old Testament, it's all stories that have and ideas of how to act, to be a good person. Right. These are valuable lessons of how to behave. Mm-hmm. There's nothing about it that should be, transformed into money or power. And modern religion for me is all about power. It's all about it's not about being a good citizen or a good neighbor. It's not about being a good guy. It's not about anything. It's about worshiping something, and we should all get together to worship that something. And if necessary, we should pay for that something. Mm-hmm. 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 I don't understand it. I was born Jewish. Mm-hmm. I didn't have any say in it. They didn't ask me. It's like 8 days, and then they chop a small bit of your penis, and then you're good to go. I'm born in America. I was raised Christian, and they chopped the small piece of my penis off too. I didn't have any say in it, and I can't claim apostasy. I don't know how to get out of it. Sure. I'm stuck with it. Sure. I'm an Israeli. I was born Jewish, but I don't have any sympathy for modern religion, because modern religion creates modern extremists. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm against it. And you asked how it is to be an Israeli. Well, we live in an extreme place. Mm-hmm. For good or worse. We live in an extreme place, so that makes extreme people. And you can hear it in the streets. People are always shouting.
Chosen by God.
Yeah. I don't know if I was chosen by anyone, but
the Jewish religion teaches that, though. Chosen by God.
Yeah, chosen. We're not. How do I say it? We won't get anything on a silver platter just because we're the chosen people of God. I didn't see him like make my day better. you know.
Look at me, I'm a Gentile.
you know, that stuff doesn't, and it's all around us. The religion, the war about religion. Everything is about religion. Everything is about a mystical creature that I never met. And everybody hates me or loves me because of it. And I don't like it. If you want to hate me for myself. You have many reasons to go for it. But don't hate me because I was born someplace in some time and someone, claimed that guy is Jewish. All right, next one.
Yeah. It's so funny because, as I mentioned a second ago, I'm born in America. I'm raised in a Christian family. And the one thing that I noticed quite young, and it's really affected me as an adult, is that I noticed that religion, I'm not talking about faith or Christianity or love or anything, but religion, that overarching power thing that you've been talking about, is so evident if you're looking at it, because especially in America, man, it's all about prosperity and money here. And I don't want to slam the church, and I actually don't want to, because I know so many people in the church who are, very passionate and faith-filled, and they're loving and kind. So it's not like everybody with a religion is bad or anything like that. But extremism, especially in that name of God, especially as a Christian, if we're raised to believe that Jesus was the Messiah and that Jesus died for our sins, then shouldn't we just be loving each other? Really, it's that simple, and we make it so hard. It's so stupid, and it's all about power. It is.
It should have stayed with that. Love thy neighbor, right?
Yep.
That end period. Love thy neighbor. Be a good person. Yeah. That's all. We don't need to we don't need to meet every Sunday just to tell each other be better. All right.
Right. But human nature can't stop itself, right? We always have to say, yeah, but, right? We have to include ourselves. And it's so funny because I notice this every day. I drive a lot, and I love being in the car, and I think I'm a good driver. I'm not going to lie. I think I'm a very good driver. But I notice that every time I go just to the grocery store, there's always some dumbass hurrying to get in front of me. And I always find myself saying, well, it's all about you, because humans can't stop being all about themselves. We're so narcissistic. It sucks. And so I love that what you're saying about this album and about the burning of Mount Sinai is so true, because we've been given these rules, or certainly, whether we've been given them from God or they were written by a guy somewhere. The point is they're great rules. Love each other, be kind to each other, be kind to your parents, honor your creator, don't steal, don't murder, right? These are basic things we shouldn't have to have explained to us.
That's like the instructions of being alive.
Yeah.
Don't kill anyone.
Yeah, be decent, man. Don't make it about your land grab. Just be content with who you are and where you are and who loves you. You and I are becoming friends today, and I love that we're friends. I don't care if we live on opposite sides of the world or that we have differing views or whatever. Holy shit, deal with it, man. Get over it. This is just about us being like into what we do, right?
Yeah, man. It's about the conversation,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, and I'm experiencing new ideas, and I'm experiencing new stuff, and I never met you before. I never talked to you before.
Yeah.
That's amazing that I can do that. Yeah. I can talk to someone who lives on the opposite side of the world and have like a totally different life, and we can experience it. That's the best thing that we could ever, like, as a humankind, we could ever hope for. We can reach out to any part of the world and learn anything. These things make us the smartest people ever. We can look up anything. We can learn anything. We don't have like disliking or having the judgmental thoughts about someone who you don't know what he's been through or where he lived or how it is to experience, his life.
Yeah.
That's like moronic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And we all do that from time to time. But if you have those guidelines that tell you to not do it and to try and be respectful, even if it's not like what your instincts guide you to do, but you do it intentionally. You respect another human being.
There it is.
You can learn a lot, and you can end up realizing that you were wrong. And that happened to me so many times in my life, that I had like a judgmental opinion about someone, and then I gave it a chance, and I realized I was wrong.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing to learn about yourself. You're not always right. And you can't tell at everything what it is like from the first look.
Yeah. It's something about well, you said it a second ago. It's about honoring the other person. It's just as simple as respect. It really is. Because here's the reality. I say this all the time too, but you put 100 people in a room. Let's say they're all conservative. They're all religious, like a Christian. They're all white. They're all female. I mean, let's really like break it down, right? And those 100 white conservative Christian women are all going to have 100 different opinions about abortion, about marriage, about money, and they're not going to argue about it. But that's the point. None of us have the exact same take, and it's this online craziness and the social media thing. It should be called unsocial media. We're shit to each other.
Yeah, exactly. And we have such strong opinions about what happened in different parts of the world, which we know nothing about.
Right.
But we have an opinion.
Yeah.
Because we read a title from a Facebook post, and now we know what's up,
Right. Exactly.
I love that. I love people who I once was asked if we ride on camels here in Israel.
Oh my God.
We don't.
We don't. Trust me, we don't.
I drive my car to work. My cable broke down a long time ago. and for what it's worth, I'd rather walk.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
But we have strong opinions, and as I get older, I find that I was taught so many wrong things since I was born. I was taught a lot of things, a lot of facts about a lot of things, and most of them are wrong if you look well into it. I have a great Palestinian friend, and our relationship can shatter anything that you hear about the Israeli-Palestinian relationship or something.
Right.
It just doesn't matter. I'm not in that conversation. I don't have an opinion. I don't know enough to have an opinion, to have a solid opinion and tell you what's up. I don't know. I live here. I experienced that shit, and I just want it to end because I don't mind. I don't mind other people being here. You can mix it up. It's not yours. It's not mine. I was born here. I never asked to be born here. I'm just here. And you can throw in anybody. I may have problems with them. I may not. And it doesn't matter where they are from or what do they believe in. I have many religious friends, and I have friends that hate everything about it. And I'm okay with it. My shitty opinion shouldn't bother anybody. It's my opinion.
Yeah.
It's only my opinion.
Yeah, and not only should it not bother anyone, but you shouldn't be cut off for having an opinion, right? Like this idea of this cancel thing. It's so strange how people just say, nope, done. Like done forever because a differing opinion, and they think that opinion is worth destroying relationships over. It's just, it's the craziest thing. I don't understand nationalism either. I agree with you at this idea that if, you're born in Israel, I'm born in America, I understand patriotism. I understand caring about your country and caring about the safety of your neighbors. I understand caring about the way of life that you grew up on that you think is sacred. I completely understand that. I actually, 30 years ago, I was in the military. I joined the United States military on purpose. You know what I mean? I did that, and I did that for 7.5 years. And I don't need to be praised for it. I don't need to be, you know how people say, like, thank you for your service. I think that's cool, and I appreciate that, but I don't need that. And yet, I today could move to Japan and be the happiest guy in the world. It has nothing to do with where I live. I'm just seeking quality of life, you know, and I want to hang out with great people like you. I want to go somewhere and be able to say, hey, you know, Alon, let's go get a beer or play cards or hang out and have food, right? Just friends, man, people.
But that's what it's all about, in my opinion. Like experiencing life, and when I experience life, I don't experience like the big picture of the Israeli government and what they would decide to do. They never asked me what to do, so I'm not a part of that. I'm only experiencing what's around me, and wherever I may be, I want to be on good terms with everything that is around me, all the people and all you know, all life around me. Because I don't wake up in the morning and like saying I want to fight somebody because he doesn't live where I live. It just doesn't make sense. If I'm in Japan right now, I want to make friends. I want to see something that I haven't seen before. Yeah. When I'm here in Israel, I want to be good to my friends and draw inspiration and give inspiration to everyone that's around me. Yeah. That's the only thing about it. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, I don't care about the bigger picture of the place that I live in or the place that I'm going to. Right. I don't care about it.
Right. Yeah, I'm not going to Israel because I'm excited to learn more about the Israeli government.
Yeah, exactly. That's not the tourist attraction here. No.
And I also don't want to be killed for my beliefs either, right? That's the weirdest part about the human nature is that extremism of saying, if you don't believe in me, not only will I cancel you, but I'll kill you if you give me a chance. That's madness.
Killing for religion. That's the part that they didn't show me in Bible studies. Yeah, where God says, but if they don't like you, they kill them.
Yeah, well, I mean, you read the Torah. Obviously, I've never read the Torah, but I do know that like the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of our Old Testament.
It's a cool book.
Yeah, they talk a lot about like God sending the 12 tribes of Israel to different areas to destroy the land and kill all the people so they can take it over because that's the promised land. So it's a interesting thing that we sort of if you're religious, you have this reference to say, see, well, God wants me to kill people, so why wouldn't I? You know what I mean?
Well, he said that how much time? 2,000 years ago. So that must be still relevant. He didn't say anything after that. He didn't give any other command. Like, you can stop now. Like, go wash over. I don't know. Go. Yeah. You don't need to do that anymore. Yeah. Well, we got it. Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, that was my whole thinking, growing up in the church in America was like, okay, so if this is the way it used to be, and I mean, this is not a preaching thing, but, this is the way it used to be. And then Jesus comes and he completely undoes that. He says, no. Stop killing. Stop doing this stuff. Just be nice to each other. And we're like, no, we like the murder part better. It's so damn weird, man.
But that's exactly what humans do. We do like it better because when you kill someone, you take their property, and when you take their property, you gain more. And when you gain more, you have more power. Yeah. And it's all about that.
There it is. I don't think we need to say anything else about this.
It's all about that. It's all about power. It's all about getting more muscle, and then get everyone to believe in your ideas because you're the smartest man alive because you killed all the other smart people.
Yeah. Yeah, so true, so true. You know, I know we could talk about this forever, but I want to say this. We don't have to hang up yet, but I do want to say I am so happy to have met you. There's something really, really fascinating about you, and so gentle and so real, all at the same time. Because you're very potent. You have a point of view. You have an opinion. It matters, and yet you are completely open to loving and even admiring somebody who does not think like you do, or even treat the world like you, just as long as we somehow figure out a way to honor each other, right? It's people are the purpose.
All about the conversation. You know, you can say, express whatever you believe in, and I'll honor your privilege to do that, and you should honor my privilege to answer you.
Right.
And we can have a conversation, and in the end we can decide that we don't agree, and that's okay. We don't have to. And maybe we can learn something from each other and, you know, get a new perspective on life.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I've never heard anybody say that, by the way, Alon. You said honor the answer. That is the perfect way to encapsulate the human experience and this conversation. Honor the answer.
Yeah, man. I've had a lot of fun. I can't believe we're 55 minutes in, because it went by so fast.
Yeah, well, you know, we're both badasses. This is what happens, man.
Yeah, man. Real recognize it's real.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a question I like to ask everybody, and then we'll probably cut. But with all the things you've done so far, you're still a very young man. You have a long ways to go. What would it take for Sinnery? What would it take Sinnery to achieve for you to believe that you've had, you know, a successful career, that Sinnery is worth being remembered?
Wow. I think we have a long way to go. Mm-hmm. We need to touch as many people as we can. We need to get to as many people as we can. And I think that every time a person reads the lyrics or listens to a song or go to a show or buys a t-shirt, it feels like he belongs to something that is all about making him feel better. Then we win. Then we can be done, you know. That's what we were set to do. We were set to, you know, entertain our listeners and express our feelings, and maybe, if we can, make you feel a little better for 5 minutes or more.
Humanity doesn't consolate. Not a place we have to face for thoughts with the loss of opposition. That process in a fight. Humanity doesn't consolate. Not a place we have to face. God bless the human fucking